Hello everyone. This is part 2 of the Random Collage Journal. The first part was putting down large pieces on the first layer, non-focal point type pieces. I haven't done anything to this signature since the last video. Not covering the entire bit of it, but quite a bit of it. We left quite a bit of small white spaces. Now we get to start covering and start blending the pages together. We're going to add some medium to small, not tiny, but small-ish kind of images, some more pattern papers, some more painted papers. I've got a bunch of stuff that was left over from the first layer, and I've added a few other ones. I have added a couple pages here to show how I might add some focal point kinds of things. I like to do medium to small kinds of things in the second layer. I like this door. I kind of want to add that to something. And I do like to fussy cut out a little bit, depends on how large things are. Some of the stuff is left over from last time. Some of the envelopes, I've got the bits and pieces that I tore off. I also went through my images and just pulled out some random little bits of things that caught my eye. So I have been forcing myself to go through my images when I start doing something, like the next step or whatever, because things will catch my eye one time and other things will catch my eye the next time. So I'm trying to get myself to put my images back after I've worked for the day, so then I can go back and look at stuff with a fresh eye. If I'm in a different mood, I'm going to notice different things. I've got little bits of pattern, and the autofocus is off, so I can't do that, but there's little bits of magazine pattern color that I've got here to use in some of those little bits. Random little bits of pictures that I thought were interesting. They add a little bit of interest, but they're not really focal points. They're just something more to put in the background of these collages. I have noticed that if I put focal points on really early, then I tend to think that the page is finished before it really is. So I like to have a lot of some things to look at on each page. So this is where I fiddle and mess about just a little bit. So this part might be just a little bit longer, just so I can explain some of the things that I'm doing. So I've not done anything with this since the last part. It's exactly as it was. I didn't do a really good job gluing things down. You can see air bubbles underneath. If I wasn't making the video, I would be spending a little bit more time when I glue down my images. I'm just going to work with this one for now, and you can see how it works out with all the air bubbles and stuff underneath things. But if I was just doing it on my own, I would be spending just a little bit more time making sure that that bottom layer was down a little bit. And I think I might spend just a little bit of time this time as well, just making sure my things are glued down well and there's no air bubbles and all that kind of stuff underneath. So I also have, other than these things that I pulled out, I've got a basket here of bits. I kind of want to use this wine label, but I've got a basket of little bits, things that I've torn out, painted papers, magazine bits. They're leftovers from other things that I've been doing. All kinds of lots of stuff. Book pages, scrapbook paper, stamped images, just a bunch of little stuffs. these are the kinds of sizes that I'm going to need to fill in the white spaces for that. So if I can't find something that I've pulled out, then I will go to the basket and try to find little bits to cover up those white spaces. I don't have to actually cover up all the white spaces at this point. You can actually, if you've got little tiny bits that you really don't like, you can wait for the details part of it to cover that up. The reason I like to leave white spaces, and you probably can't see, this is little polka dots. It's not going to focus. You can kind of see it here. This is a security envelope. It's red polka dotted, pink polka dotted, little patterns on it. It's really hard to see because it's so tiny. So it's not entirely white. I like to leave white spaces like this because this makes me, I've got a little white space right up here in the corner. This makes me put things on this collage in places that I wouldn't normally put something. So my goal in this stage is to find things that I like to interact on the page. So I would try to find something that's big enough to fill in that white space, but small enough not to be overpowering for the page, because I still want to put a bunch of stuff on here. I like this girl. She's about the only thing I do like on this page. And I might just fussy cut her out just a little bit, just to see what she looks like. Now this is the part, where I want to go as quickly as I can, but still I enjoy the process of fiddling. I enjoy the process of looking at different things and seeing how different elements will make my page different, and I like to mess around until I find something that I really, really like. Let me fussy cut this just a little bit more because I am not going to like all that white bit around the edge of her, especially this black hat. But I'm not going to spend so much time. I'm not even sure if I like it right here or not, but I won't be able to tell unless all that white that's distracting my eye is kind of gone. You know what? I'm just going to cut that skirt because it looks like she's cut off anyway in the picture. So I'm just going to do that. And I like the way fussy cutting makes the image kind of blend into your page. I do like that. I don't know if she's right for that page, that part of the page yet, but I do like that. Another thing, since I'm working in signatures, I have been working on the end pieces, the end pages, but I really probably should be putting them together just to see if I like what's going on, what's happening here. And I kind of do. I kind of like that. I might put those together. Except that's the wrong one. I need one that would go here. See, and that works too. So that really works because I don't have two focal points. I will get into that a little bit later as well. But I kind of have been saving the end pieces to work on together. So I am going to skip this page and just work on the pages that go in the center here, just a little bit. So I've got this great big white spot here, and I've got a couple smaller white spots here that, and one right here that I want to deal with this big one. I'm dealing with the bigger spots right now. And, well, I like him right there. He looks really, really nice. And I'm still sticking to my rule of straight edges on the edges of the page and torn edges in the center. If I get too many straight edges in the center of the page, and I do have an example of that. Let me see if I can find it here. Here's one that's really driving me crazy. I have got a lot of straight edges on this page. I mean, all of these are straight edges. I don't know why I did that. Probably not thinking, just trying to cover in some spaces. I was probably doing it very quickly. But all these straight edges really distract my eye. It makes me wonder why everything is boxed. Why everything is there like it's in jail. These images, they're fighting each other. They're clashing. They're not blending together as a nice image. So I either need to put things over those edges to blend in those straight lines. Well, that's exactly what I need to do, is put stuff over these edges so that I can not be focusing on all these edges. So that's why I try not to use straight edges in the center of a page. I want the torn look. The torn look, it blends the page together so much better. So I've got this straight edge down here that I really don't like. So I'm just going to make it a torn edge. Just like that. And I am going to cut off the top so that he's straight up on the top there. Actually, I could probably put him up a little bit further. Let me glue him in and then trim him off. I've got my gluing magazine out here. And like I said, I am going to spend just a little bit more time gluing a little bit more purposefully and making sure I have no air bubbles underneath this time. This is the part that I enjoy, so this may take just a little bit of time, but I want you to see some of my process and some of the things that I'm thinking while putting this together and not thinking. It really is one of those, you don't want to think too hard about it, but hard enough to like your page afterwards. I don't think I got glue on that little bit of corner, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And it might be the page is buckled just a little bit because I didn't glue that piece down very well on the last one, on the last video. So I really like him. He's kind of a focal point. He's something to look at. He's not in the center of the page. He's kind of in a strange place. I would never have thought about putting a bird in the corner like that if I was just randomly putting stuff down. So I've got this wine label. I've had it for a while. I don't know if I really like all those words. So, and it's a little sticky. Let me see if I can tear that off. Maybe I'll save that for another time for something else. It's sticking to me. I kind of like this little house. I don't necessarily like that on the bottom, so let me see if I can do a control tear. Get that off. And I don't like that white bit on the side either. So let me cut that off just so I don't tear into that tree because I really like that tree on the side. All right, so I've got a straight edge here. I want to put on a straight edge somewhere else, and that probably would look really nice right there. It would look nice on the bottom too. So this is one of those times I've got this all cut out and it's sticky, so I kind of want to find a place for it, and that looks kind of nice right there. Where else do I have? I don't know if I want it in a corner. You know, I like my fussy bits. I kind of like the way it was over there. Oh, it looks kind of cool right there. Oh yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Let me see, do I need more glue on it? Is it going to stick with the glue it's got? I think it's going to stick. So it's going to need a little bit. It's going to need just a little bit in some places, and I see it kind of needs to be torn off just a little bit more on this edge. See if I can get just a little bit off, because that little white bit is distracting my eye. Boy, it's really sticky. That little black bit right there. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that because it's got places that don't have any glue, and I want to make sure that it gets down there well enough. Just like that. So that's one of my little white spots that's got something in it now. Let me go back to the first page here. So I want something over here, and I want something over here. And what I'm just going to do is just audition some little bits. I don't necessarily want an image right in the center like that. I would rather have things on either side. So I'm just going to randomly look at what I have and see if there's any pictures that I might like there. And I'm not seeing anything really that I like. This statue's kind of cool, but not really. It's just kind of overwhelming. It's a little bit too large. This little monkey doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I like the dancing people. I've got some color. I've got, well, she's interesting. Let me see if I can fussy cut around her just a little bit. Get that dark background off of her. I don't have to worry too much because she's a painted image. It came out of a painting catalog, an artist catalog for paintbrushes and canvases and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to cut off any of her nose or anything because that would make her look funny. So I got to be a little careful around her face. And just like that. Oh, that's kind of cool too. That is really cool. I don't like that, but I do like that. That's kind of neat right there. I don't like these paints, and I don't like this little bit, and I don't like that white. Maybe I should tear it. Depends on how you tear an image. If you tear it towards yourself like this, you're going to have a white edge that shows. If you tear it away from yourself, well, if you tear it away from yourself, you're not supposed to have the white part that shows. I don't want to get it too close to that image. Get that white bit off right there. Do I like that? It sure is interesting. That's never happened to me before. I'm not sure if I want to leave it like that. But I do like this image. I am not sure about that. I am going to put that aside and think about that for something else, I think, because that's kind of cool. So here's my lady. And she's got an edge here that's straight, but I do like the way she looks. Not necessarily on this page, though. So go on to something else. I didn't pull out a lot of stuff. I don't like to give myself too many choices because things don't seem quite as random when you've got too much to choose from. A lot of my images are not really focal points, but just a splash of color. I like the fish, but not necessarily with the owl there. Here's a little bit of people and some lit up balloon lights, I guess, that they're letting go. I don't know if those are called lanterns. I'm not seeing a whole lot here. I'm going to just turn the page because I'm just not seeing a whole lot. These pieces, these spots here are small enough that I can put something on later. Nothing is catching my eye. I could probably pick some more colored papers, some painted papers, or some words. I've got my word thing over here. I could, look for words to put in some of those little spaces. I don't know if I really want to do that yet, but those are small enough spaces that I can deal with that later. I do kind of want something there to look at though, because this is really a vague whole area here. I want something there. Of course, I could always put a little bit of white wash on it and just use it for a word list or word association. I'm not seeing anything that really catches my eye. So she's kind of cool there. I think she'd be cool just about anywhere though. Kind of like her there. I'm going to come back to that because she would be nice in a lot of different places. I don't like the window. This image I was going to use as a page in a book, and I decided I wasn't going to do that. I'm just going to rip that image. That kind of turned out interesting. I'll throw that bit away because there's nothing on that. That turned out really interesting. I like the way that tore out. So maybe I should find some place for her to be. Seems too red though for any of these pages. She could have a straight line here. I could cut her off. I don't see any place that she would really fit in here, but I do like her. So I do like her too. Let's see if we can fussy tear her out. Yeah, I do like her, but she's red too. There's nothing else on that page that I really like, so I'm going to throw that away. But I don't have any red going on in this one. I have another signature that I was working in trying to do the video last time. And this is in the same stage where it needs the next step. So maybe I can find, she's kind of cool on there. She'd be kind of cool on there too. Let's just tear that out just so that we can see what's going on. I don't think I like that. Yep, I don't think any of these really work. That's kind of interesting. Kinda interesting, but not really. Ooh. So this is what I do. I just kind of play with the images and let them talk to me a little bit, see what they want to do, see what they want to say. It might be, I might need to tear it on this fold that I've got going on here because she might be too big, but I do like that. And this door is very interesting to me as well. I might just cut that out because I don't want to cut any of that door off. And if you cut out an image, fussy cut something, it's the same as tearing. The straight edges are what distract your eye, but if it's around an image, it's not so bad. I might like that part too, but let me just tear that bit off. You might use that in something else, but I won't use that, so that's going in the garbage. So that door is really cool right there. I do like that. I don't really want it in the center. And I got this little white spot right here that's catching my eye. So do I have a little bit of something that could go there so that I don't see that? A little bit of something else. Let's see here. Just a little bit of maybe some of that. Maybe some book page. It's too distracting. A little bit of book page, I think, might just do the trick. Yeah, maybe even smaller than that. All right. Just like that. And then I can put that, I need a little bit right there too. So that little bit that I tore off, I'm just going to put it right behind that. So I don't want the white spots showing. And then I can put that door kind of off center so it doesn't look like it's a main focal point. And I can put something else over there, or I can do some writing or something over there. And I do like that, so I am going to glue that down. So the second part is kind of adding some visual interest pieces, some small bits that make the page have something to look at, and you want to put them over spots, the white spots, and you've left white spots just so that you will put things in places that you wouldn't normally put things. So I'm kind of liking the way that that is starting to look, and I'm going to wait for the next stage with some little details and put some other little things on here. But I mean, who knows why this door is sitting here in the center of the page. It's kind of mysterious, even though you can see through it. But I'm liking that. And so you kind of just slowly let your pages tell you what they want, and just go through what you've picked out, what your eye has picked out for this little second stage, and see what catches your eye for each little bit. I'm going to go through my images again and see if something again catches my eye. Kind of like that. That's kind of interesting, something to look at. I'm not quite happy about that. The elephant looks really good looking at the circles. I'm really liking that, but I don't like the elephant and this lady here. And the reason I don't like this is they seem to be competing against each other. I have to pick one or the other. Think of your page as a stage. You do not want to have two lead singers competing against each other during a performance. So if you think of this as a stage and you've got these two, they're not interacting. They both they have their backs to each other. They are not looking at each other. They're angry with each other almost. So you don't really want that happening on your page. You'd have to pick one or the other. Let's see. And that's how I look at it. I look at it like it's a stage, and I'm looking for backup singers for the lead singer that's on the page. So I think she could go someplace else, and I do like this elephant here, but I feel like I need some other stuff. Don't like that a lot. Blue. Don't like that a lot. That seems too large. I do like the image though. It might work. Kind of like that. Kind of run out of things over here to put on, haven't I? Got some trees. Don't like that. Little bits of color. I feel like I need some focal points on this one. And I did not give myself a lot because I tend to get too many things out, and it just doesn't work after a while. Let's see here. Now, I don't see this one as a main image. I kind of see it as a background. It is kind of cool. Those would be interesting as well. Stacks of rocks. So I'm going to cut off the white bits so that it will blend into the background just a little bit more. I am spending just a little bit more time than I like to on the second part here. I usually just, if it seems right, I usually just go for it. But I kind of want to see, I want you to see my thinking when I'm picking stuff out, why I'm picking stuff out, and why I'm not picking other things out. Of course, you're going to have your own style. You're going to have your own images that you like and you want to use. You probably won't have as much of a difficult time as I seem to be having right now, trying to find things that work. This, for me, is more a Zen type thing, and when I am all by myself and not recording a video, I am not really thinking so much as I am at this particular moment. I'm trying to think of words to say, why I'm picking stuff, why I'm not picking other things. When I am by myself, I am not thinking. I put things down and I kind of decide if I like the looks of it, if I don't like the looks of it. I kind of go with my emotional first impression. I kind of like those rocks right there. I like the elephant. I like the brown in those. And I'm not quite sure if I still like the birds. Of course, I've got shine on it, so you can't see it real well. I do like those rocks. I don't know why. Random rocks on the bottom of the page seem to be interesting to me, but they do. And I do kind of like this elephant looking up at the circles like they're bubbles or something. I don't know. And I do kind of like the birds. I think maybe I like the birds because the color, brown goldish kind of color, kind of blends the page together a little bit. I'm not going to think too much about it. I am going to just go ahead and commit to those. My glue page free here. I am going to commit to those. I don't need this quite that long. Let's cut some of that off. I'm just going to glue that on. So when I'm by myself, I'm not thinking so much about where I'm putting stuff, why I'm putting it there. I'm letting my brain, my emotions kind of dictate what I like the looks of. Do I like that? I guess so, kind of thing. And before I think too much about it, I do just glue it down. I am finding the less I think about it when I am gluing, the more I like it at the end. It seems more random. A lot of these images are being put down here, and I am putting straight edges down. That might be why my eye is a little distracted by this bird's image, is because of all the straight edges. But I do break my own rules sometimes. I like all these birds, and I don't want to tear off any of them, so I am just going to live with the straight edges. Don't know why, but that's what I feel like doing. I don't like this spot right here, so I'm thinking that I want to add maybe a little bit of painted paper. I think I want something in the beige color or a yellow-ish kind of thing. Do I have any painted papers over here that would do the trick? That's kind of neat. Kind of like that. That random strange rip that just happened. Seems like that just kind of worked for some reason. Don't know why. Try to get that in the gutter. Get it in the gutter. I like that a little bit. I think I need something else on this side. Maybe just a random bit of that same color. Just to blend that so it doesn't look like it's a sore thumb, stuck out like a sore thumb. Kind of like that. And I got this little bit right there, that little white bit that's distracting my eye. So I'm going to put just a little bit of that right over that so I can't see it anymore. There. Don't know what I'm going to do with all that up there, but I'm going to do something with it later. So now I've got a bunch of white spots to deal with on this page. Let's see here. Kind of got some green, blue kind of bits going on. Well, that looks really cool in the corner there. It's a blue magazine picture. I kind of like the way that looks. To make sure it's down real good. What else can I put on here? I don't want the trees. There's nothing at all. There's no focal images at all on this page. I don't think she's too strong. She's just too strong to put there. I might not have anything here. That could go just about anywhere. Probably use that image on someplace that is really I'm having a difficult time filling. I like these little fish. I like the fish. I am definitely not seeing anything here. The donkey doesn't seem to go. I'm not seeing anything at all. It needs something. Oh, well, that looks very interesting. She kind of gets lost in that color, but she's a little bold and kind of needs to get lost a little bit. That's very interesting. I kind of like that, but I need something up here. And I want something to kind of tie this all together. I might use another piece of that. If I have one. Just so that I don't have too many different kinds of things on the page. I also have more of this. That might be too much. I think I'm going to go for a piece of that. I have that down here. A piece of that. Kind of like that. Just like that. Let me put that down. It kind of ties together just a little bit. And the top is not straight, but like I said, I'm kind of liking the hanging off the edge look, the messy look, just a little bit. And I am trying to put her, there's a little orange square here, and I'm trying to put her over that orange square because that is just a little distracting, having it right on her nose. So I'm trying to cover that up a little bit, but I don't know if I like her that far forward. I might have to put just a little bit of this blue there. Don't think I like that either. So I might just leave that because it is part of that picture. And I might just put her down there because I really do think that's interesting. Don't know why. That's part of the randomness. You never know what you're going to find. I don't have any plans ahead of time. And she did come out when I was going through my images. She just kind of appeared. She wanted to be used. I got some glue on the top of that. Wipe that off just a little bit. I think I got a dry baby wipe here so I can get some of that off. Get her glued down. She's a painterly kind of lady, so she kind of blends into the background a little bit. I think that's kind of interesting. She doesn't stand out a lot, and her colors blend pretty well too, so I'm liking that. That's kind of cool. So I need some more stuff over here, but I don't necessarily need focal points. Another door, I don't think so. It's a painted piece of paper. Let's see. I got lots of doors this time. I have another piece of that paper. I think that's where I ripped it off. But I don't want too much of that there. I'm not seeing anything. I might not put anything on there for now. Just kind of move on and do some tiny little pictures or something in that area. Maybe some words, maybe some washi tape. I think I might just leave that for the details. So I'm going to go to the next page. Let's see here. She would be kind of interesting, but they're competing too much. I don't know if I've got enough images out. I might have to go find some more images. Because nothing is appealing to me. It's interesting. I don't think I picked the right colors this time. I don't know why I wouldn't have picked the right colors. That's kind of strange upside down. I like this piece is kind of cool. That would be neat right there in the center. That would be neat right there as well. I like it here better. I'm going to rip the top or the bottom, whichever way, and I'm going to rip the other top or the bottom. I think it goes that way. Seems better that way. And I am just going to put that down. I'm not sure why. I think I like the colors together. It's not really a focal point. It doesn't have to be a focal point yet at this point. You can still be doing backgrounds and all that good stuff, and that's fine. Oops. Why does it keep ripping that way? Why does it keep ripping that way? Kind of like that. It kind of ties in this other piece of paper a little bit. I can put that one on that side to kind of tie that one in just a little bit. I like it better there. I'm trying to fill in some, and I need to cover the tops of their heads. I don't want headless or bodiless heads floating in there. So let's see if we can find some other stuff. We've got some numbers, and we've got this other bit of the brick wall that would be kind of fun on this other side. Don't like that little bit of green, but I do like that. I like that a lot. She might be kind of cool. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I like the straight edge in the bottom, but I do like that. Sorry, getting kind of quiet because I'm not really thinking. I am more taking it all in to see if I like the way it looks. And I kind of like all this layering that's going on here with the brick wall all over the place. But I'm not quite sure. That would be kind of interesting that way as well. Yes and no. I keep going back and forth. I am not quite sure. I don't think I like this piece because there's too much whiteness on it. And this piece of paper keeps tearing weird. We should get the other piece of paper out. I do kind of like her on there with him walking away from her. So I just need to cover up these words here. Figure out how to do that. I might need a bigger piece. Of that. It really does tear funny. It tears sideways. Oh, there we go. That's an interesting bit right there. That covers up the words. Put that way. And put this on the bottom. So she's kind of peeking out from behind something almost. Kind of like that. I do like that. I don't know why, but that is capturing my attention. So I need to put her right there. Thinking too much about it. It's supposed to be pretty random. I think I had it right about there. Oops. Where's my cloth? Make sure I get it down without any air bubbles underneath it this time. I'm going to put that piece on first because I don't want those words to show. Make sure they get covered up very well. I like this piece that way because it covers up this straight edge on the top. Like that. And it's got a straight edge on this side. So that works. I'm trying to hide this straight edge down here. Maybe this little bit would be better. I think it needs just a little bit sideways and a little bit kind of like that. Like that. Trying to hide just enough so it doesn't look like it's got too many straight edges. But I don't want it to look like it's too obscure either. That maybe needs to be torn just a little bit. All right. And I've got this little bit. I need those heads covered up. Those heads have got to go. I need to find another image to put there, I think. That kind of works for that. I need something on this, in the ditch here. This does not look right. And a piece of washi tape might work. I like his hand in his pocket, so I want to be able to see that. So I'm having some difficulty with that. Maybe if I just used the straight edge. That would work. I don't like this too straight. Maybe I can just rip just a little bit of these perforations off to make it look a little less perforated. Just get them off just a little bit. Don't want to come off. This is the strangest ripping paper I have used in quite a while. Now, I don't like this right here. So I kind of like that. That takes away some of that white bit. I can put that there. I do kind of want to put the rest of this wall on this page somewhere. That would work too. That works better. That works much better. Let me put that down there. Just trying to get rid of that white right there. Too distracting. I need to get rid of this white right here. Wow, this paper does not, it doesn't rip within the way it's supposed to. It just does not. And that works right like that. I like that. All right. That definitely hides that white little bits right there. So without going much fussier with the second part here, all I'm doing is taking some kind of focal points, but not too distracting, not main event kind of focal points, just something that's interesting for your eye to look at. And I am covering up white bits. I could probably use that over here. Just like that, to get rid of that white edge right there. Since that is a straight edge, that works. And I would kind of like to use this I'm going to put that right there so it kind of looks like she's peeking out from behind a wall. And I've used up all that brick wall. I need something here. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Oh, here's another little piece of brick wall. A little bit of writing on it. Got glue all over my hands. Maybe if I cut that off. That white is distracting. And put that right there. So she's surrounded by a wall. She's peeking out from the wall. Don't know why, but she is. Just like that. So I'll find something when I'm looking for details and stuff. I will find something to put over these heads, the floating heads. I could probably find something larger, but I don't want another focal point, and she is pretty distracting by herself. I could probably find something in my little basket if I really wanted to try to find something. Piece of silver would be interesting. Some book page, maybe a little piece of poem or something. Some stamped image, an embossed image, some stickers would be kind of interesting there. That's a cool little piece of something. That writing is very cool. But I'm just not seeing, this is not really focal points, this is painted papers and that kind of thing. Maybe I could find a little bit of security envelope just to cover up those heads. The heads, I don't like the heads. Just don't like the heads. I'll have to go through my images, I think, and try to find something in my images. So I'm just not seeing anything that I like here. Just not seeing anything. And maybe I need to stamp something on some book page or something, some images to put there. So I will go back to that a little bit later. So here we've got some trees. This is where I was going to put those trees. I might as well cut off the bottom. I need a new page here. So I'm just fiddling about, trying to find some interesting little bits to cover up white places. I am looking for something that is interesting to my eye. Colors that kind of blend a little bit. Just little bits of interest for the page. I haven't decided if I want to do a lot of writing on these pages or if I'm just going to use them for collage. I don't like that bit. I'm just going to throw that away. I haven't got that far yet. I haven't thought that far in advance about what I want to do with all this. I like the fish colors with these, but it doesn't really go. Another door. I've got doors on the brain. I pulled out, what, 3 doors? Something like that. 3 doors. I might have to go through images again because nothing is really not liking any of these. Not really liking any of these at all. That's kind of cool. Kind of like that, even with the straight edges. Kind of like them down here. That is very interesting. I do like that. I do. Do I like it with the straight edges? I think I'm going to leave the straight edges because his eye is pretty close to that straight edge. So I am going to leave those straight edges and just glue that down. And I got glue on the top of this picture again. I must be getting to the end of my glue stick, which starts to kind of fall apart at the end there for some reason. So that's kind of relaxing right there. I want something up here, but I'm not seeing anything in this stash. These pictures that I like there. So let's go on to this one. I've looked at these a lot, and I'm still not really seeing anything that I want. Don't like her or her. Oh, that looks really interesting there. I like that a lot. Just exactly how it is. I think I need to put some more stuff underneath here. Some blue somethings. And he's kind of interesting there too. Huh. Want this underneath her, so I need to put it down first. And I want that white edge off. And that white edge off. Just like that. Yep. It fits that space perfectly. It was meant to be. It was really meant to be. And then I need to glue her down. This is usually how it goes, a little bit more quickly like this, where it just seems natural to put something there. She is not straight on that side, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But she's already glued down, so I can't fix it. So we'll have to deal with that later. But I just like that. It's very random. I'm not sure if I like that with it. Not sure if I like that either. I might like that a little bit more if I were to get rid of this white area. I think that is distracting me. I like a little bit better, but I'm not liking that. They're competing too much. I just don't like that much competition going on a single page. I'm not seeing anything else that I really like. I probably could find some scrapbook paper. The windows. That's interesting. I don't like this hand right here in the center, but I do kind of like those windows. I can probably find something to cover up that hand later. So before I start thinking about it too much, I am going to glue it down. How did I have that? Straight edge on the top. I do like these windows. Oh, That's a way to cover up her hand. Overlap it a little bit. And that's all background stuff. So I'm going to have to find some focal points on that for that page a little bit later, but I kind of like the windows on here. So I'm going to put it down before I think about it too much. I can always put more stuff on when I find it. Something to look at, because I really don't have anything to look at the moment. But I kind of like the vagueness of the page. This one would be a nice one just to add some writing to. And I've got some glue right there that really does need to come off. There we go. A wet baby wipe. Kind of wiping off the picture a little bit. Oops. All right. And I got some pink bits here. That's kind of cool. I don't want her face that obscured, but that's kind of interesting. So let me take off a little bit more of the flamingos. Yep, there we go. I kind of like that. That is very, I don't know what the word is for it, but that's working for me for sure. I've got glue all over my fingers. I do need another page in my magazine here. She looks like she's peeking out from flamingos. What is she hiding behind flamingos for? Alrighty. So, there is that. I've got this piece of white here. I can put some more of that over there, but that's too many different pinks. I can put some more flamingos over there. Too many flamingos, I think. Maybe some of this pink polka dot stuff. I don't know. That hides the white spot, so I'm just going to do it because I just don't want that white spot showing. And that is the second part. I think that's my last page, and I'm going to wait to do the last page for when I put the signatures together and kind of match up the beginnings of the signatures, and I'm not sure which signatures I'm putting together yet, so I'm just going to leave those. And so that's some little bits on here, and it's still pretty ugly. I need something here. It's still pretty ugly. It's pretty, I need something here. It's not really interesting yet, but it's starting to become interesting. It's very random, and it's not really thought out, but we'll add some more stuff in the next part. I will grab some more things and get rid of this stuff. The next part is details, little tiny pictures, words, little bits to fill in the page and make the page look interesting. but that didn't take too much time, I hope. This is the most fun I have is this stage, I think, and the next one. I like adding the little details as well. So, and I will probably add maybe some stenciling, some stamping. I don't know. We'll see. So, till the next part, thanks for watching.